In the monotonous life of the heroine of this film, a hurricane of emotions bursts in together with a young and freedom-loving stepson. The woman does everything to make the guy adapt faster in their family. She keeps his secrets from his father. In return, they get a common secret while the husband is on a business trip. The guy likes an experienced stepmother. Heroes actively spend time in secret from the family. But one day, they let their guard down and things get out of control. It's Mr. Narrator and a new retelling, and today we will find out what the boring life of a lawyer and her stepson can turn into. Enjoy the video. The film begins with the heroine, Anne, interacting with a client. Anne works as a lawyer. She defends the girl in court. After the hearing, the lawyer takes the client out of the media spotlight. After finishing work, Anne goes to work out. At home, she is met by her daughters and her husband, Pierre. The man is going to Geneva. His son, Theo, went to the police because of a conflict with a teacher. Anne takes her daughters to horse riding lessons. The woman herself visits the salon where her sister, Mina, works. She tells her about the situation with Theo. Mina's husband brings their son, Luca, to work with her. The sister and the man have a complicated relationship. Mina quarrels with him on the doorstep of the salon. Anne is pleased to see her nephew. She asks him about the toy that the boy was given by his father. The woman offers to take the boy to her, but Mina refuses. Returning home, the heroine puts away Theo's things in the living room. She takes them to the boy's room. At this moment, Theo comes out of the shower. Anne asks him not to throw things around the house. She shows the guy a wardrobe where he can put all his stuff. She notes that the guy has grown up fast. At lunch, the daughters ask their father about the boyfriend's arrival. Theo joins them. He asks for coffee to be made for him. The sisters give the brother a present. The next day, the lawyer comes home early. She solves work issues on the phone and goes to the house. On the doorstep, the blonde finds a keychain. Theo and his sisters are playing in the nursery. They are happy to see their mum coming. In the evening, Pierre has dinner and complains to his wife about his work. Anne listens attentively to her husband. She suggests that the man rest. The couple kiss. Later, Pierre tells his wife about his conversation with his son. He doesn't like that the father has adopted the girls and doesn't spend much time with his son. To relieve the tension, Pierre goes to bed with his wife. Anne tells her husband about how she was in love with the old man, but she was a little girl at the time and called the old man a 33-year-old man. This story amuses Pierre. He wants to know what his wife thinks of the man's body since he is older. In the morning, Theo smokes in his bedroom. His father reprimands the boy for his behavior. Anne stopped by the salon to pick up his sister. The women arrived at the heroine's house. They find that everything in the house is scattered. Anne calls her husband to report a robbery. Her bag has disappeared. Theo comes home. Anne tells the guy to check the room. At work, the lawyer talks to clients, Sarah and her father. The man was given custody of his daughter. Out of an excess of emotion, he knocked over a cup of drink on the lawyer's desk. Anne soiled her skirt. Sarah watched anxiously. At home, the woman was throwing laundry into the washing machine. Theo's trousers were in the laundry basket. She decided to wash them too. From the trouser pocket, Anne took out a keychain she had found on the street. The heroine went to the guy to discuss the find. She assumed that Theo had deliberately set up the appearance of robbing the house. The guy reacts aggressively to the woman's words. She suggests that he hide the robbery story from Pierre if Theo tries to adapt to their family. Later, the woman tries to get things for the beach. Theo comes to her rescue. Anne invites the guy to the river. In nature, the girls and Anne have a picnic. Theo delights in a burger. The heroine says that she will no longer buy vegetarian steaks. The boy eats the meat with gusto. After eating, Theo and the twins go swimming in the river. He suggests that the woman join in the fun. He makes a joke of the woman by dunking her with her head under the water. Anne responds to him in kind. They return home in good spirits. On the way, the girls fall asleep. At home, Theo helps the woman carry the girls to their room. The next day, Anne and Theo are chatting on the veranda. The boy is smoking. The woman wonders how he started smoking. Also, Anne asks him about tattoos. Theo offers to give her a tattoo on her arm. He applies ink to her skin himself. In the evening, the guy brings home his girlfriend Amanda. He introduces the girl to her stepmother. After a while, Anne and Pierre have visitors. The heroine's husband tells a boring story about toads. Theo is going to the shop on a scooter. He offers his stepmother to go with him. The heroes go in for a drink in a bar. They discuss the guy's girlfriend. It turns out that Theo has no feelings for Amanda. He wonders if Anne has feelings for his father. The woman tells the guy about her life. The heroine returns home. Pierre is angry with her. He is displeased that the woman did not show hospitality to her husband's friends. In the next scene, Anne is chatting with Mina. The sister talks about her new admirer. Pierre has arrived home. The heroine asks him to look after the children. Theo with his sisters and Luca jumping on the trampoline. Pierre hugs his daughter. He tells about going on a business trip. In the evening, Theo is watching a soap opera. His stepmother comes into his room. The guy offers her to watch the series together. When the woman sits down next to him, Theo kisses her. The heroes do this on the guy's bed. After a close encounter, Anne asks the guy to forget about what happened. Pierre returns from a business trip. He tells about his work. The heroine is tormented by guilt. Later, we see that Theo spends a lot of time with his sisters. He records on a dictaphone the sisters' answers to various questions. The guy wants Anne to be interviewed as well. The woman shares personal experiences with the guy. Theo likes the heroine. He wants to get to know her better. Anne warns the guy that they should keep their distance. But Theo kisses Anne. His closeness excites the woman. In the bedroom, Theo helps the blonde woman relax. He wants the woman to appreciate his progress in the art of lovemaking. Anne comes to visit a client. The girl is behaving strangely. The lawyer contacts the Child Protection Service. She asks a specialist to check the girl's family. In the next scene, there was a birthday party for the twins. The heroine's daughters were opening presents with the other children. The girl asked her mother to fill a water gun with water. The woman went into the barn. There she was accosted by Theo. He wanted to relieve Anne of her tension. Mina saw the heroes. The woman was outraged by what her sister was doing. Mina and her son went home. The party continued. Pierre took a video of his daughters blowing out the candles on the cake. The next day, Anne waited for Theo in the garden. She wanted to talk to the boy. Theo took offense at the woman for refusing. She asks him to keep their close relationship a secret. Anne leaves the guy. They kiss. Theo promises that the woman will be jealous of his girlfriends. Anne joins Pierre for breakfast. The woman comes in from jogging. Theo is watching them. Pierre says he wants to spend time with his son at the chalet. In the evening, the daughter asks her mother what their father and brother will be doing on holiday. Anne tells them what they usually do in the chalet and reads them a bedtime story. When the little girls are asleep, Anne calls her husband. She leaves him a voice message. The woman goes to Theo's room. She finds a tape recorder and notes. The heroine wants to hide all the evidence that proves that there was a close relationship between her and the guy. Later, she takes the girls to the equestrian club. Anne is nervous about the fact that her husband did not call back. On the road, the heroine's phone rings. The blonde looks for it in her purse without slowing down. Anne's car drives off into a ditch. They return home in a taxi. They see that Pierre has come home. The girls talk about their mother wrecking the car. The family sits down to dinner. Pierre tells the children a story about a mouse that chewed through a pipe in the chalet. He ends the story by saying that it is impossible to repair everything. The man looks at his wife. Anne sees a hidden meaning in the story. After putting the children to bed, the couple sit down to talk. Pierre tells his wife about Theo's confession. The guy says that he and Anne were actively spending time alone together. The blonde refutes the guy's words. Her husband does not believe her, because Theo told him savory details. The heroine escapes from the conversation. She goes up to the bedroom to gather her things. The woman is angry that Pierre believes him. Anne tells her husband about the robbery that the guy arranged. Pierre realizes that he jumped to conclusions. He hugs his wife and cries on her shoulder. In the morning, the couple sits in the living room. They decide to talk to Theo. Pierre wants his son to stop cheating and slandering his stepmother. Anne reminds the lad that he should be sensible. The father pressures the lad to apologize. This angers Theo. Pierre takes his son to boarding school. The girls are upset by the parents' decision. In the next scene, Theo comes to see a woman at work. He demands that she confess that there was an affair between them. Anne explains her position to him. She wants him to tell her father that he made up the story about their intimacy. Theo promises to ruin the woman's reputation. On Christmas Day, Sarah comes to Anne's house. The girl gives the lawyer flowers. She is grateful to the heroine for her help. Mina, Pierre, and the children celebrate the holiday together. The sisters reconcile. Anne is glad that Mina has forgiven her sister for her affair with Theo. After dinner, everyone opens presents. Pierre gives the heroine an expensive bracelet. The women admire the gift. After a while, Anne comes to the lawyer together with Theo. The guy decided to take revenge on his stepmother. He wants to bring her to justice for their affair. The blonde says that her colleague's client is a cheat. The lawyers decide not to publicize the case. Anne asks them to send her the documents and the amount of compensation. Theo is not happy with the way his idea ended up. Late at night, he knocks on Anne's house. He is drunk. The guy wanted to see the woman. They start kissing. The couple does it on the doorstep of the heroine's house. The blonde goes back to bed with her husband. He is awake. Pierre asks what happened. Anne talks about his son coming around. She claims that she called the guy a taxi because he was drunk. However, the husband points out that the woman didn't freeze. Rate this video in the comments. Would you believe Anne if you were Pierre? Do you think the man could have seen what his wife and son were doing in the alley outside the house? It was the film last summer 2023. See you in the next retellings.